Hey guys, welcome back to another Game Maker Shooter tutorial, and in this video we're going to be looking at wave progression and randomly generated asteroids. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's right click on the objects and click create object. And we are going to create an asteroid. And the asteroid is basically our enemy. They come flying towards us and our goal is to shoot them down. So we'll assign the sprite of Asteroid, create event, and drag in the code block. So the first thing we're going to do is set the speed. So when it's spawned, it will automatically move to the left. I'll show you what I'm trying to achieve. So basically the asteroids spawn here, and when they spawn, they'll automatically move to the left. And we, as the player, have to shoot them down. So we're going to use H speed. And now, just to add more of a sense of randomness, we're going to have a variety of speeds that GameMaker would choose for us. So write choose, and in these brackets, we're going to put in, let's say, around 3 values, -5, -4, and -7. Now keep in mind that this function can take as many parameters as possible, and GameMaker will choose one. We'll also put randomize here, just to make sure that it's always random. Cool. Took that, now let's create a step event. So in this step event, we are going to check what happens if the asteroid goes behind the player. That's behind the player, as well as asteroid collides with the player. So both of these will make sure that the player will lose health. So to check if the asteroid goes behind the player, we do if x is smaller than -20. And what this does is it makes sure that the x value is below 0. And we also want to check if the O player is actually existing. Because if the player dies and it actually checks for a collision with the player, then it's gonna give them some errors. Cool. So if x minus equals 20, an instance exists player, then we're gonna lose 1 health. So oplayer.hp minus equals 1. And we have to do this because HP is an instance variable, so we can't be accessed from oAsteroid. And what else do we have to do? We also have to make sure that the asteroid is destroyed when it goes out of the room. Cool. Now for the next one, we're going to use a function called place_meeting. This function basically says, does the asteroid collide with O player? And if it does, we're going to once again remove 1 health and destroy ourselves. Cool. So that's the asteroid done. Now let's do the bullet. So when we shoot, the bullet is going to hit the asteroid sometimes. And when it does, the asteroid will destroy and the bullet will destroy. Oops, let's change this to a collision with an asteroid. So when it collides with the asteroid, we're going to do with other. Now if you've seen my GameMaker Basics tutorial, with, we looked over that. And what other does is it refers to the object being collided with. So in this case, the bullet is colliding with the asteroid. So this is basically the asteroid. However, this actually uses the specific instance. So if we have like 5 asteroids in the room, it'll only reference to the one being collided. So with other, and we're going to destroy asteroid. So instance destroy. And then we'll get out of the curly braces and we'll type in instance destroy to destroy ourselves as well, which is the bullet. Cool. Now we can do the spawner, which is how the asteroids are randomly generated. So right click on objects, create object, and we're going to call this O spawner. Click add a create event. Now how the spawner works is that it'll have a spawn rate, and we're going to set this at 50 for now. And the spawn rate determines how fast the intervals will be. So the larger this value is, the easier the game will be. We're going to call a function, alarm here, with the time of spawn rate. Okay, so the spawn rate is 50, and the alarm 0 is going to be activated in 50 frames. Now the reason why we use a variable and not just do this is because as the wave increase, the spawn rate is going to decrease, making the game harder. Cool. Now we're going to add a step event. Sorry, not step event. We're going to add an alarm event. Alarm 0. Add in some code. And in here we're going to basically create the asteroids with random y values. So firstly, let's put the random y values in a variable. So this variable is going to be called rand y equals, and we can just do random and then the room height. Okay. So this is going to give us any random number from 0 to the room height, which is 480. So I'm going to show you what I'm trying to make. So it's going to spawn anywhere in this line. Now the problem is that this also goes into decimals, and that's kind of not what we want. So we can use a function called floor and wrap it around. And what that does is it makes sure that the value that is being generated is an integer. And we'll do randomize just to make sure. Cool. Now to create asteroid. Instance, create. And for the x value, we're going to do room width plus 40 because we want it to spawn around here. So the player can't see it, and it's going to slowly move to the left. The y value, it's going to be rand y, which is what we just generated, and O asteroid. Now we have created it once. So now let's call this alarm again. So alarm 0 equals spawn rate. And this is going to be recurring. So we're going to call it again. Cool, take that. And it's looking pretty good. Let's see how this looks so far. We're going to put that up here and compile the game. Alright, so there it is. You can see it right there. Boom. Boom. Oops. You can see it goes pretty high up. And here you can shoot them down. Cool. And you can see some are slower, some are faster. It gives a challenge. Alright, now let's implement the wave system, which kind of makes it difficult after time goes on. So right click object, click create object. And it'll say, O waves. And the create event, drag in code. And we're going to define a global variable here. This is going to be called global.wave. And let's make this 1. So init. Okay, cool. So how this game works is that every 15 seconds, the wave will increase. So we're going to say 15 seconds until increase. And we're also going to use an alarm. Alarm 0 triggers. So when it increases, something's going to happen. So alarm 0 equals room speed times 15. So room speed is equal to 1 second, which is 30 frames. And then 30 frames times 15 equals 15 seconds. So let's create an alarm, drag some code, and in here what we're going to do is actually increment the waves. So add wave every 15 secs. Global.wave plus plus, which is the same thing as plus equals 1, like a short form. And then we're going to say speed up spawn rates every time wave increases. So this is what I was talking about before. So now we can simply type in oSpawner, which is the object that contains the spawn rate variable. And we can just type in here minus equals 5. So every single time the wave increments, the spawn rate will be lessened by 5, making it faster. Cool. Now let's call this alarm again. Alarm 0 equal, and then do it again. Room speed times 15. Alright, cool. So let's go over the wave system. So it's creating, and it creates the global.wave equals 1. And straight away, in 15 seconds, the alarm will be called. Right, when the alarm is called, it pluses 1 to the wave and minuses 5 from the spawn rate. And then it calls it again in another 15 seconds. And this goes over and over again, and the wave increases, and the spawn rate will decrease and decrease. So let's play this game. Oh, oops, that's right. 2 things we missed. Firstly, we forgot to put the waves in the room. And secondly, we actually can't see. We can't actually see the waves increasing. So let's create a little HUD here. Let's right click on objects and click HUD. Draw. I'm dragging the code. And we're going to say here, draw wave text. So draw set color C_white. Draw set font main. Alright, we'll add that font later. Okay, I kind of forgot to explain what drawing is. So drawing is basically drawing text, rectangles, images onto the screen. Now we're drawing some text, which is going to be the variable global.wave. So we're going to be setting the color, the font. We can set even the alignment. Set align. H-align, that's right. Which is the horizontal line, the vertical line, but we're just going to use these 2 for now. And then the final one is going to be draw text. So the x value, the first argument is the x value, the second argument the y value, and the third argument is the text that we're going to draw. So we're going to say wave plus string global.wave. Coolio. So we're saying it's going to draw around the top right corner, 10 from the top, and the wave plus global wave. So if it was wave 1, it would be wave and then 1. Now we don't have this font yet, so I'm just going to right click on fonts, create font, and I'm going to say FNT main and use this font with a size of 20 pixels. Okay, and let's add that object in our room. Alrighty guys, cool. Let's see how this works. Alright, wave 1. Moving around. You can shoot these objects. And still wave 1. And now it's wave 2. Alright guys, so now it's wave 5. You can see it's actually starting to get a little hectic here. Asteroids are spawning everywhere and it's kind of hard to keep up with them. And it's only wave 5. But probably wave 10 it'll get so hard that it's probably impossible. Alright, so well you can see the difference there. It gets pretty hard. And yeah, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. You've learned something, and for the next tutorial, we're going to be working on screen shake and explosions. Stay tuned for that. See ya.